Greetings, I'm Kurt Fonger for South Florida Homes and Lifestyles. We have lots in store for you today, including great community highlights, spotlights, ways to appreciate the value of your home, and more. And it all starts right now.
Southflhomesandlifestyles.com, a great way to search and find area communities based on lifestyles, amenities, and more. Log on today.
It is the icon, the symbol of South Florida, the Jupiter Lighthouse. And if you'd like to have a unique view, plus a tour of Jupiter Island and the Intracoastal, come with me aboard the Manatee Queen. We paused our tour for a moment so I can talk to the owner of the Manatee Queen, Doug Snyder. And Doug, ironically, we've stopped here in front of the home that you can't see from the water, Tiger Woods.
One of the few that you can't see. Yeah, he decided he wanted to tree himself in. So this is what you got. He's got 14 and a half acres or so. He's got 4 practice golf holes out back, got a golf studio, got a fitness studio, he's got a 100-yard lap pool. Gorgeous place, goes all the way to the ocean. So he's got a beach house on the other side of Beach Road there.
We'll take your word for that one. But we have seen so many other homes of celebrities and billionaires here on the tour.
Yeah, absolutely. Jupiter Island is the highest concentration of billionaires per capita anywhere in the United States. From big executives to celebrities, we've got it all here.
Well, Perry Como is here, Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah, Perry Como is further down the way. Olivia John's in the Inlet Colony. Burt Reynolds has a house here. We got Tiger Woods, Greg Norman's on the island, Nick Price is on the island. List goes on and on.
And then there are stories about each of the homes and the people who live there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we do on our tours. We narrate and tell you who lives there and what they do to get all their money. Some of it's old money, some of it's newer money, but
I can tell you from personal experience that seeing the homes from the water is much easier than trying to drive up Jupiter Island and see anything, because there's not much to see.
Absolutely. You go up the beach road and all you see is a bunch of trees and a bunch of guard gates.
So going on the Manatee Queen is the way to go. How many tours do you give you?
During the season, we'll do 2 or 3 every day. We go out 7 days a week. Summertime's kind of our slow time, and we'll do at least 1 trip a day.
And it's the Manatee Queen, and that's the way to see Jupiter Island.
Absolutely. It's the best way because, as you can see, Tigers is the only one that's treated himself in. Everybody else wants to be seen, or wants to see the water, I should say.
It's Tiger's loss.
Yeah, exactly. Well, his big boat's called privacy, so he enjoys his privacy.
Back after this short break. Stay with us.
Southflhomesandlifestyles.com, a great way to search and find area communities based on lifestyles, amenities, and more. Log on today.
I'm having a hot flash, a tropical hot flash. My personal summer is really a bummer. I'm having a hot flash. Menopause the Musical, the off-Broadway parody hit that will have you cheering at your seat and dancing in the aisles.
Presented by Tony Award-winning G4 Productions.
At the Kravis Center, April 1st through 19th. For tickets, visit kravis.org or call 561-832-SHOW.
I'm having a hot flash. Ooh.
The legacy that has been created by the International Polo Club Palm Beach is back. The anticipation of thoroughbreds charging down the field, the solid click of mallet on ball, the pop of a champagne cork, and the excited revelry of thousands. Experience the unparalleled glamour and competition this season. Purchase tickets to a match today at internationalpoloclub.com or call 561-204-5687.
Great, you're still there. Now, let's get moving. In the very busy parking lot and warehouse of Two Men and a Truck, I'm here with Joel Dowley, and you've been thinking about your mom.
Well, I've been thinking that my mom always said that reputation was very important. And in selecting a moving company, you should consider the reputation of that company. Now, reputation is what people say about you. Sometimes people say things that aren't true, but overall, you hope that what people say about you is a good reflection of who you are as a person and as a moving company. So before you make a decision on a mover, make sure you know what that mover's reputation is. One of the things that I recommend is going to your local Palm Beach or Treasure Coast realtor and asking them. They've got experience with people who have moved.
Oh, we've heard stories.
That's right. Also, talk to family and friends, neighbors who have moved recently, and hear their stories. Find out movers that have done a great job or some that have left some problems.
It's also good to know how long the mover has been in business. You've been around for 10 years now.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. And a reputation is something that you earn over time. Now, another possibility is to go online. The Better Business Bureau is a good source to check. Sites like Angie's List or Yelp or other review sites can give you an idea of what experiences other people have had and what they're saying about the mover that you're considering.
So get to know your mover before you move.
Very good advice.
And you can find out more about Two Men and a Truck from our website, Southflhomesandlifestyles.com. Joel Dowley, thanks.
Thanks, Kurt.
If you're looking for a mortgage, I'll bet your first thought is some big box bank. Well, there are alternatives. Let's talk to one. You're Janine Henriano, Group 1 Mortgage. What's the difference if you are shopping for a mortgage between going to a big box bank, and you know who they are, and you, who's a mortgage broker?
Well, I think, Kurt, it's very easy to walk into your local branch where you have your checking account. You see the tellers every week when you make your deposit, and there are some good loan officers there. But the standard in which a mortgage banker or a mortgage broker is held to, those loan officers not only have to be registered, but they also have to go through a licensing process. Continuing education, passing exams, we're held to a higher standard, which is a nice thing for the consumer to know. Also, when you work with a mortgage banker or a mortgage broker, you have more options in loan programs and rates or pricing scenarios. If I walk into the local branch where I have my checking and savings account, they might have the best rate compared to all the other financial institutions on the other three corners that day, but by the time I'm actually ready to lock my loan, the person on the other side of the intersection might have the best rate. When you're shopping with a mortgage banker like Group 1, with the click of a mouse, I can shop you between probably 15 different investors on the day that it's time to lock you.
So you're saying that a mortgage isn't necessarily a mortgage. There are several different programs that a consumer could come in and talk to you about.
Every different lending investor may have a different set of overlays.
An overlay is
where they're not going to do exactly the same things that Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac are willing to do. They may have a lower risk tolerance.
Okay.
And everybody has their different risk tolerances and overlays in different places. So it's nice to have those options with one-stop shopping.
Mm-hmm. So I, coming in with a certain set of criteria and a certain income, might find a very favorable mortgage, and someone else might find another mortgage more favorable.
Correct. It's nice to have more than one tool in my box.
Mm-hmm. So once again, a mortgage banker, broker, as you are, you're licensed. And it's not that the big box banks are doing anything wrong, it's just they're under different criteria.
A different criteria and less options to choose from.
Okay, Janine Henry on Group 1 Mortgage. Thanks for being here today.
It's my pleasure.
It's easy to get confused in South Florida. We have 4 major television stations, all with a P in their call letters. Your town, community, or county probably has a saint, a port, a fort, or a beach in its name. Tell me that's not confusing. And in northern Palm Beach County, we have all the Frenchmans. Besides a Frenchman's Nature Preserve, we have Frenchman's Creek, Frenchman's Harbor, and Frenchman's Reserve, all expensive, high-end, exclusive communities. And then we have a very special community. It's called Frenchmans Landing. Let's take a look. Frenchmans Landing was started in the 1980s and was built out by the 1990s. It's nestled between Prosperity Farms and Hood Roads. There are more than 200 homes here. They range in price from the $300,000s to the $400,000s. You'll notice the meticulous landscaping, trees everywhere, lakes, walking trails. This is really good nature. The families here love not only the nature and the serenity, but the playground, including tennis, even a basketball court. The homes here are spacious, between 2,000 and 3,000 square feet under air. There are 1-story and 2-story homes with garages. Many of them have high ceilings in the home, always a desirable selling point. And yet, among all of the amenities and all of the lush landscaping, this HOA is affordable. Frenchman's Landing is close to the busyness of shopping, schools, and the beach, and yet it's peaceful. That's why so many families seek to land at Frenchman's Landing. We are in the Vizcaya neighborhood of Mirasol in a remodeled house, and here's the guy who did it, Aaron Chandler of Aaron Chandler Construction. Aaron, we're in the kitchen. What did it look like before?
Well, when we stepped into this project, the homeowners had just purchased the home, and the home was in dire need of remodeling. It being 12 years old, it needed a lot of updating due to the fact of the builder-grade products that were used along the way. So when we met with the homeowners and we did our 3D layouts like we usually do with our computer programs, we wanted to get back to the level of sophistication the homeowners were used to. So we put marble throughout. We ripped out the existing kitchen, which was old thermofoil doors, older countertops, and basically changed all the appliances to high-end Wolf appliances and lightened the kitchen up tremendously with lighter cabinets, custom color, as well as we changed the color of the island as well too, to a mushroom. Installed new granite Taj Mahal, and turned out beautiful.
And very, very airy, and as you said, it's very light. Let's talk about now the master bathroom and the master bedroom suite.
The master bathroom suite and the master bedroom were, again, not up to par. So what we did was we moved a lot around. We took the his and her separate side of the master suite and combined them, as well as moved the shower to the window area with the glass block for a more airy, lighter feeling, and moved the tub as well too. The whole home then we took and changed out all of the lighting throughout to LED lighting for a less of a carbon footprint, and put everything automated through an iPad. So now we have our security, our thermostats, as well as lighting at one source through the iPad.
And the bedroom, his and her closets, of course.
Yes, his and hers closet. We do closet-made master suite line, as well as we added about 2,000 linear foot of molding through all the walls in a type of a box picture frame pattern, and painted everything lighter color again for a very unique look.
That is a lot of renovation, and it must have taken you forever.
Actually, this one we had a timeline, and it was 4 months. So we had a whole crew in here for 10 hours a day, 4 months straight.
So all it takes is a little bit of imagination and a lot of work to totally remodel a home.
Yes, yes it does.
Okay. Aaron Chandler of Aaron Chandler Construction. This is a beauty. More to come. Please stay right here.
At Ibis Golf and Country Club, you can have it all while living in the heart of a lush oasis. Here you'll discover a vibrant lifestyle, including an all-new sports village, fitness centre and luxurious spa. We're the only community in the world to boast 3 Nicholas family-designed golf courses. But what really sets us apart are our members.
Ibis, the place everyone wants to come home to.
I'm having a hot flash, a tropical hot flash. My personal summer is really a bummer. I'm having a hot flash.
Menopause The Musical, the off-Broadway parody hit that will have you cheering at your seat and dancing in the aisles.
Presented by Tony Award-winning G4 Productions.
At the Kravis Center, April 1st through 19th. For tickets, visit kravis.org or call 561-832-SHOW.
I'm having a hot flash. Ooh.
Southflhomesandlifestyles.com, a great way to search and find area communities based on lifestyles, amenities, and more. Log on today.
Some personal information now. I grew up in Michigan, and I always thought that relations between Canada and the United States were simple. Well, like a lot of things, they get complicated. Jacques Raymond, you are with Keith Conley. You're a cross-border financial planning, tax, and investment firm.
Exactly.
Let's say you're a Canadian and you want to buy property in America. What are some of the issues you're going to find?
Well, first of all, you have to title the property, and it depends on your personal objective and also financial objectives. Are you afraid of lawsuits? You want to protect your assets? Are you thinking about estate tax, probate? Are you thinking of gift tax? These are all issues that have to be taken into consideration. Now, one thing you have to bear in mind as a Canadian, you do not want to go LLC. Okay.
What's that?
An LLC, actually, it's a limited liability company. And the reason it's not good for Canadians is simple. It's because in the U.S., what happens, the LLC, the taxes are paid by the individual. There's a flow-through directly to the individual. Whereas CRA, the Canadian Revenue Agency, does not accept that flow-through. So what happens, they tax and you pay for the LLC in taxes, and you pay individual in the U.S. So you get double tax. You get double tax. You don't get the credit that you're paying in the United States, because usually you have foreign credits applied to your Canadian taxes.
And when you're searching for a title in, say, Canada, you're dealing with an attorney rather than you would here.
Yeah,
in
it's different, because here you have a title agent and attorney, where in Canada it's a lawyer. In several provinces, and in Quebec you're talking to a notary. So different people doing different things. The title agent is here has a role that encompasses in particular the insurance, the title insurance. You have stamp tax, that is something that Canadians don't hear about. And in Canada, what happens, you have what is called welcome tax in Quebec, and land transfer tax in other provinces.
Welcome. Yeah.
And those are paid separately. They're not done at the closing. So that's something that's very different, which makes the cost of the titling very expensive for Canadians. When they see the bill, they find it expensive, because what happens, you have all these issues. You have the inspection costs, the insurance, and the stamps, and usually that brings up to about 2% of the value of the sale.
So it's complicated, and your firm, Keats Conley, is in the business of making it simpler.
Absolutely.
And you can find Keats Conley by going through our website. Jacques Raymond, thanks for being here on South Florida Homes and Lifestyles, explaining some of the intricacies of the Canadian and American relationship. We are in lovely Castellina here in Wellington, where Impact Landscaping is making things green. I'm talking to Philip Darling. How do you keep things green?
Well, in the wintertime, Kurt, things start to go dormant, so you have to take a different approach at making sure you're providing the proper nutrients and water for your landscape. You want to use cultural and biological controls to make your job a little bit easier, slow down on the maintenance a little bit. Cultural controls, you want to roll back your watering schedule. So you're not providing too much water to the landscape, and that will fester, funguses and problems in the soils, since we do have the lower temperatures this time of year.
So many people want to water every day and think the lawn needs it.
Yep, it's pretty important to roll back a little bit this time of year. You can actually cause some significant damage to the landscape if you overwater this time of year. Also providing fertilizer, setting up the turf to have a nice green look to it. And a proper root base to make it flourish throughout the wintertime.
You're fertilizing once, twice, 4 times a year? What?
4 times a year usually, once a quarter. So you really try to tackle as much turf weeds as you can throughout the wintertime, because with the lower temperatures and the additional moisture, you'll have more vegetative weeds popping up throughout the turf.
And I'm told it's so important to keep your palm trees well fertilized.
Absolutely. In the wintertime, things do go a little bit more dormant. They're not as green and as lush, so to provide that little bit of extra nutrient to them will allow them to stay at a stable condition so they don't get to a point where they're yellowing out. It's very difficult to bring those palms back at that point.
So a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of timing, a little bit of planning, you're going to have a much better lawn and with less maintenance. Philip Darling, Impact Landscaping, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Kurt.
I'm here with Scott Rank of Florida Public Utilities in front of every chef's dream, cooking with gas.
Absolutely. 98% of professional chefs prefer cooking with natural gas.
2% don't?
They're on a cruise ship. They're not allowed to have gas out there. So, yeah.
So what's the advantage here?
The advantage is control. You can control the level of the temperature. You can see the flame. When it's off, it's off. There's no burner residue heat, that's going to overcook your dish. So that's the claim to fame of gas cooking, that control that a professional chef prefers.
Now, what if you live in a neighborhood in which there's not a natural gas service?
There are other ways Florida Public Utilities can serve you. We do have a propane division, which we say gas is gas. That gas would be in a tank rather than piped in through a pipeline to your house.
And you're not talking about a lot of expense when you're talking about cooking with gas during the year. This is because you like cooking with gas.
Absolutely. Cooking, maybe $50 a year expense, so it's really the luxury of cooking with gas is what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm. And you can find out more at our website, SouthFlhomesandLifestyles.com.
Or Florida Public Utilities, FPUC.com.
Okay. Scott Rank of Florida Public Utilities, thanks for being here. We're cooking with gas.
Absolutely.
Joining me now, the guy with the stethoscope, the Juris Doctor, Jim Chiappi, well-known attorney.
Nice to see you, Kurt. Love the bow tie.
Thank you. Wear it whenever I can. We talk so much here on the program about buying and selling homes, but so many people are in a lease. And also, so many people are in foreclosure. How do those two form a combination?
It's so important for tenants now to be cautious and check the public records to see whether the property is in foreclosure. And it's very simple. You just go online and you can check the Palm Beach County, if it's in Palm Beach County public records. You input the name of the owner in the records. It shows you any litigation that's pending. And just to be forewarned in case there is a foreclosure at the property. Because technically that can cut off the tenant's right to occupy the property if the foreclosure takes place while they're in occupancy. So it's so important for them even to contact an attorney and be aware of what the remedies are.
So they could be kicked out even if they have a 12-month lease?
Yes, there's a possibility that that foreclosure could be completed while they're still in residency, and their lease would be terminated by the actual foreclosure sale. So it's just so important for them to realize what the status of that property is.
Okay, so they've checked to see if the property is in foreclosure. What else should they check?
There's also homeowners associations and condominium associations. Those payments could be delinquent, so they want to be sure by contacting the association whether those payments are current. Because once again, the associations can even file foreclosure. I don't know if you're aware of that. And those foreclosures proceed even faster than mortgage foreclosures. An association could foreclose in 2 to 3 months. So that definitely could interfere in a one-year rental if that association forecloses and that tenant now is faced with having to vacate the property.
What about an inspection of the property?
That's also very important for a tenant to consider before they move in, because I've recently had a number of tenants that have had mold issues in their units, and that it was important to know immediately so that the owner can remediate. In particular, one actually had the sprinkler hitting against the exterior wall of one of the bedrooms, and there was a child sleeping there, and after several months the child started to develop respiratory problems. It was linked to mold in that wall. Also, air conditioning can have mold situations, so it's so important to have the AC checked, make sure whether there's any mold in the air conditioning system.
So if you're buying a house, you have an inspection, of course, but if you're leasing, you want an inspection as well?
It's wise to make that investment for an inspection so you can determine if there are those types of issues, yes.
Because the landlord will fix the problem,
yes, it's their responsibility.
You want it fixed right away.
So there's no health issue, especially with mold.
Okay, and of course, if you have a question, call an attorney. You'll get an answer. Jim Chiappi, Juris Doctor, thanks for being here today.
Appreciate it.
Back after this short break.
The legacy that has been created by the International Polo Club Palm Beach is back. The anticipation of thoroughbreds charging down the field, the solid click of mallet on ball, the pop of a champagne cork, and the excited revelry of thousands. Experience the unparalleled glamour and competition this season. Purchase tickets to a match today at internationalpoloclub.com or call 561-204-5687.
So there you are. But before we go, a reminder. Be sure to log on to our website, Southflhomesandlifestyles.com, where you'll find some really cool search tools designed to help you find the perfect place to live, plus relocation information, things to do, places to go, expert advice, and more. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kurt Fonger. Have a good week.